Hi, and welcome back to my channel, Self Love Yoga, for eating disorder support. So, today I just wanted to chat about a question that I get asked a lot. Um, it's a question that comes up over the years from people that have both had an eating disorder, still have an eating disorder, and people that don't have an eating disorder. So I felt like it was really important to come on and chat about this today. The question is, how do you keep a positive mindset, or how do you be okay with being a bigger weight, putting on weight? And I think that's a big question, and it's not an easy answer. I think for me, am I okay that I've got a bigger body and put on weight? To a degree, yes. I don't believe I'll ever be fully okay with it. Like, I think it's something that I've had to accept, something that I know is good for me more than I'm happy about it. And don't get me wrong, I am really comfortable in my own skin now. And if I do put on weight, I can deal with that. But how I have managed to deal with it and how I do stop myself from going back into old patterns is I ask myself three questions. And these three questions, people might think that I only asked them at the time when I was first recovering, but the truth is that I have to ask them maybe a few times a day, still to this day. So these questions are, what do I get from my eating disorder? So when I was actively not eating and in a smaller body, what was that giving me? What was that serving me? And really, I think for me, my answer, and everyone's answer is going to be completely different. But for me, it was that I felt other people would see that I was in pain, that other people would, maybe it was just show a vulnerability on the outside that I could never show. I've never been good at vulnerability. I've always been someone who um, got angry instead of cried. Um, I'm better at crying now, and obviously I don't get angry really in the way I used to. But I was always someone who would, I'll do it myself and leave me alone. And, I was never really good at that kind of vulnerability. And this was an unconscious way of showing that. So it wasn't like I consciously did this, it was unconscious. An unconscious way of showing that I'm in pain, I am vulnerable from the outside. And I think I wanted to take up as little room on the planet as I could. I wanted to be so small and insignificant because I felt small and insignificant, and I felt I didn't deserve to take up room. Um, I would have a low opinion of myself, even though people don't think that. People think I'm really confident, and I'm not. I had to work hard on accepting things about myself. So that was kind of the first question. The second question that I asked myself is, when I'm like eating food or trying to like fuel my body, I'm asking myself, why am I eating what I'm eating? And that doesn't mean that like I'm always eating really healthy food. Most of the time I do. And I will ask myself, like, what is this doing for me? And I want to nourish my body. I want to, have longevity of life, all of those things. But also, if I'm with my friends or we're celebrating, or there's some, something going on that we're having pizza and whatnot, like that's great too. And I can ask myself how I feel when I've had food, and when I'm in situations that might be daunting for me. Maybe I'm eating something really high calorie and that guilt can still kind of come in. And it always will. I think it's never going to fully go, but I've come to terms with it and I'm at peace with it now. And I just kind of check in with myself and take a minute and see how I feel and question why I maybe feel guilt. Why is it? Like, is it because I think that this one pizza is going to make me fat? And why do I not feel deserving of enjoying this pizza with my friends? And that kind of deserving piece, like, really, I had to look into. Why did I not deserve to be here? Why was I harming my body? And it is a form of self-harm. That is what eating disorders are. Whether you're binge eating or restricting, you're harming your body. And when you really look at that and think about why you're doing it, it's a really deep question. And I think the answers are difficult, and they're answers that you possibly have to sit with for a long time. And maybe they don't get answered straight away. Maybe they take a while to really understand. But I think the main thing is that you're always asking questions to yourself. You're always asking yourself why you do something, why you feel something, why you think something. Because only when you know the answer to the why is when you can begin to unpick the eating disorder. Another thing that I do and I find really helpful is I journal. And journal is a buzzword at the minute. Everyone's talking about it, and it seems like it's, I don't know, a new craze or something. But there's a reason that everyone's buzzing about it, and it's so worth it. I take 2 minutes when I first wake up. I keep a journal beside the bed. I take 2 minutes and I just quickly write down how I'm feeling. So before I pick up my phone, before I, get up and see to the kids, I just take 2 minutes to quickly check in. How do I feel this morning? Like, maybe I didn't have a great sleep. Maybe I did. Maybe I'm feeling hopeful. I just jot it down. It kind of gets me in that feeling mindful place for the day. And then I don't do this all the time anymore, but I did for a long time. After I eat, I write down how I feel. And I think it's a great tool for people with binge eating disorder or bulimia. And it isn't so as to stop you from binging, or it's not like a magic, oh, I'm not going to binge now because I'm writing it down. I mean, it's not that. It's that you're just taking a second. How do I feel after eating this meal? Do I want to binge? I want to binge right now. And then you're writing down, okay, why do I want to right now? And once you start becoming conscious and asking yourself these questions, you will find that the need to kind of act out or use patterns of behavior that we use, they diminish a little. And over time, you begin, because of your level of consciousness around your thoughts and your patterns, you begin to not need to act out in the same way. The other thing with clothes and not fitting into clothes, that can be really hard. And I understand, I've been there, I've had to buy bigger clothes, and it's difficult. But the one thing that I found that did help me was getting rid of the smaller clothes quickly and buying clothes that were in my size, but making the whole experience enjoyable. Making it like, I know it's hard with COVID now, but I used to enjoy maybe going with someone that you're trusting, maybe your mom or a sister or somebody that's not going to trigger you while you're buying new clothes. Just making it a fun experience and keeping on really telling yourself that you're worthy, that you're still beautiful, and doing things like, I don't know, keeping your nails done or your makeup or something that takes that focus off of where on the body you feel the weight has come. That was another thing that helped me. And always looking at the areas of the body that you are most upset about your weight gain. So for me, it was always my stomach. was my kind of area, it still is. And I notice when I feel that I've put weight on in my stomach, which I still have all the time. I try and check in and see, okay, has there been anything this week that's made me feel any type of way, that's thrown me off? And that's why I'm focusing. I hold everything in my stomach. Like I kind of hold all my emotions. And if I'm stressed, I'll, have stomach problems. And it's amazing. It really is. And I check in and see, okay, what's gone on. Maybe look back through the journal, because sometimes we're on autopilot and we don't realize what is actually going on. Maybe someone said something. Maybe you had a dream. Maybe there was some sensory element outside of you that triggered off something. It can be that small. And if you're really looking at it and you see that there's a pattern, you can begin to see that every time you feel a certain way, you also think that you've put on weight, and you're focusing back on the food because you want that element of control. So they are tips that I use. Obviously, the biggest thing that I use now is yoga and meditation. And again, it's about checking in with myself when I'm feeling stressed or, needing that control, and I'm seeing my body as this, disgusting thing that I can see it as when I'm feeling stressed. It's kind of where I put all of my anger and my, I take it back on me in that self-harming way. I like to sit on my mat, and I like to take some real deep breaths and kind of envision that my mind and my spirit and my body are like sticking back together somehow. I like to visualize that, and then move my body purposely and try and be grateful as I do it, and tell myself how amazing my body is, that it can do all the things it does. And these are all just small ways that help me every day. I'm going to be honest and say that it's never a case of your eating disorder goes away. I don't think it is. I haven't met someone who it is, but it goes away to a point that you can live with it, and you become in control of your healing journey instead of in control of your body's appearance and weight. You need to be in control of your journey and your healing, and that's the most important thing, because no one else can do this journey for you. It has to come from you, and you are the person who knows you the most. So you are the person that has your answers, and you need to take your power and check in and listen to yourself. Listen to your body when it's full. Listen to your body when it's hungry. Listen to your body when it's tired. Take what it needs and begin to trust yourself again. Maybe you've never trusted yourself, but you need to begin to trust yourself. It's the only way that you can find a sense of peace within your body. And your body is your house of, it houses who you are inside. And that's the most important thing, is that you take care of the body that you have. And yeah, that's basically how I deal with putting on weight now. And we all fluctuate in weight. We're never going to be the same weight forever. That's just life. Things go on. Maybe we've had more functions or Christmas or whatever, and maybe we lose weight sometimes, and that's okay too, as long as you keep coming back to those questions and the self-care tips. I hope this video helps. I would love if you could send in any questions or comments. I hope you're enjoying these chats, that you're getting something out of it. And I'd also love to tell you about my brand new private Facebook group. This question was actually asked in the group the other day. So I'm trying to build a community of people who either currently have an eating disorder or who have had one. And I really want it to be a place where we can all just help each other and understand each other and pass on knowledge. So the group is called Yoga for Eating Disorder Support, the same as this YouTube page is, and it's on Facebook, and I will leave a link for it in the comments below, and I'd love to see you join. So again, I hope this video was helpful, and thank you so much for watching. Please leave a thumbs up or subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and thanks again.